Hey everyone, it is week 4 and we're headed to Santa Cruz for some rain photos. Well, it's raining over there anyway. So I've just arrived in Santa Cruz and am greeted by bright, somewhat clear skies. A little different than what I expected. It's supposed to be pouring rain over here right now. So the area that I've selected to shoot today is the Walton Lighthouse in Santa Cruz Harbor. I'm not real big on shooting lighthouses. While I love shooting at the coast, lighthouses have never specifically been my thing, but I thought this might be kind of interesting if the weather worked out, because in addition to all the storms we're getting right now, there was supposed to be some decent sized waves. We'll see. I'm pulling up on it right now, and from the road, it looks like it might work. So I'm gonna have to find some parking and walk out and check it out. Well, I've arrived in Santa Cruz. It is unexpectedly sunny. The sky's more interesting today than the last time I was here, so I'm gonna put on some warmer clothes, head down to the lighthouse and see how things are looking. One of the funniest parts about being in Santa Cruz is I've been here 2 minutes and it already smells like weed. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I had my heart set on some dark, moody, real contrasty, crappy weather photos today in Santa Cruz, but if these blue skies work out, I'm down for a little bit of color. That's been lacking from some of my recent images. The great thing about this time of year in California, well, Northern California specifically, is that with all the storms that blow in, we get some great looking clouds. We don't get that a lot here. So the times that I travel back to Michigan or out to Florida, I always make weird compliments about the weather and the clouds to people when I'm doing photos, like for weddings. And really it's just because I don't always have this opportunity. One thing that looks like it was correct was a tide report. We're getting some decent sized waves coming in, so hopefully they'll only get bigger in the next hour that I plan to be here. Sometimes when you're out shooting, you have to be careful who you start having conversations with. I bumped into another photographer and we started chatting about the weather and the surf and really the lack of waves, but then he just kept going on and talking and wanted to keep the conversation going. And frankly, I need to find a couple spots that I want to shoot, so it's not like I can just hang out and chit chat. So the shot here today may or may not work out. What I'm thinking I want to do is actually a vertical shot, get some of the rocks here in the foreground, zoom in to compress this image and bring that lighthouse a little closer to me. So we'll see how it looks. I think I found my spot down here in the rocks, so I'm going to get my tripod and get set up. I'm far enough away from the water that I don't feel I need to worry about it, because the last thing I want to do is get splashed by a wave that's bigger than I expected. So I just met a couple of young dudes here at the beach that are promoting their YouTube account. Came up and chatted it up for a bit, asked if I had an account, and then wanted to promote theirs, so gotta respect the hustle. So a couple notes on gear and settings. Right now I'm trying to capture waves, which means I want to freeze that action, so I need a very high shutter speed. But I also want a very wide depth of field, so as close to f20, f22 as I can possibly get. We're also dealing with overcast days and not a lot of sunlight. So the trick here is that you're really going to have to play with your ISO to find that happy medium where I can still freeze the action of the waves way in the background, but still have a balanced photo. Another trick in your settings for a situation like this where I want a black and white photo is to go into your camera menu and choose your picture style. I don't know if you can see that, but I've selected monochrome. So what that means, it's going to give me a black and white photo in my viewfinder, or rather on my review screen, but when I pull in the raws into my computer, it'll revert back to color. The trick is I'll get a black and white photo as I'm shooting this and get an idea of how it's going to look with these highlights in the sky here, the rocks in the foreground, and the water. Also, another tip when it comes to tripods, today I'm shooting on my carbon fiber tripod, which is lightweight, but it's a very windy day. and I'm actually shooting on rocks. So if you take a look what I've done here, if you've ever wondered what that little hook is on the bottom of your tripod, it's for weights. So I'm using my camera bag and the strap hooked on to give some extra stability to my tripod so it doesn't wobble when I'm doing these photos. So I've only been here about 20 minutes and my window of opportunity may have already closed. It's now a lot more gray out. I used to have some nice side light on the lighthouse over here, which was doing a great job of illuminating the waves as they splashed up, which was an excellent contrast to the dark gray skies behind them. This spot may be done for the day. Okay, so right now it's getting closer to the time that they said the tides are supposed to get much bigger. So I'm gonna take a quick minute, talk about a couple of the shots I have so far. So I'm gonna put shot number one, what I think is shot number one, up here on the screen. This photo I shot right as I got here. My settings weren't perfect, but I got a great splash out of it. So ideally, and I'm watching the waves, so I'm not watching you guys. Ideally, I would have had a faster shutter speed to get a little less motion in those waves, in that splash. Shot number two, let's throw that up on the screen here for you guys. Okay, let's try that again. I had a couple people walk up and start talking to me. Let's throw shot number two up here on the screen. Shot number two. So never let it be said that Santa Cruz is not a friendly place. There's probably been about a dozen people that have walked up and started talking to me just because I'm standing here taking pictures. This has certainly been one of the most slow-going outings I've done so far. I'm totally at the mercy of the waves, so I don't want to change locations. I think this will work. I've been pretty happy so far. Not entirely sure what I can do for a second photo. I have one idea, but it's going to be dependent on how much lighting is left after I get a few more shots here that I know I'll like. So I think I'm done with this particular shot. I'm going to try one more thing before I head out for the night, which is going to require a different lens. I'm not even entirely sure if it'll work. I don't know if there's enough light right now, but since I'm here and it does require waves and the coast, may as well try it out. I also need a telephoto. So the temperature's dropped and the wind has picked up. The sky's full of gray clouds. And it's a little too late to drive anywhere else up or down this coast to try and find something else to shoot. I have this idea for the waves, but I need to get to a better spot that's high enough up that I don't get splashed, but that's low enough that I can get a good angle on the water. There's an outcrop up here that I'm gonna go check out that just happens to be by my car, which works out great because I can drop off a little bit of my gear and then try this last shot. It's also now starting to rain, so last week snow, this week rain. So the rain really just started coming down right as I made it to my car. I'm going to drive over to the other location, check it out, see if it's worth attempting. I have an umbrella, I have rain gear, but depending on lighting, it may not be worth the hike. We'll see. So this is potentially an interesting location. The rain is coming in and out, and now all the surfers are out because the waves have picked up. So I'm going to check it out for a few minutes, see what it looks like, and see if it's worth it. It is incredibly windy right now. Great for waves, bad for about everything else. You can see where I'm at. I'm on the edge of these rocks right here. I'm hoping this spot will work. I just wish we had a little bit more color in the sunset, but that's the opposite of what I wanted for the last photo. So this is just something to try. Still don't know if it'll work. Well, the massive storm here in Santa Cruz didn't happen. Second location didn't quite work out the way that I thought it would. It's getting cold. My face is a little frozen right now. It's getting hard to talk. I don't know if you can understand me. So that might be it for this week. I'm going to try one more location over by the pier, see if it works out. Clearly we didn't get the huge storm that was supposed to come into Santa Cruz, but we have an interesting sunset, so it might work. Okay, it's nearly sundown. I'm at the Santa Cruz Pier. heading out to see if I can get some wave photos. They're pretty big right now. There's actually some surfers out, so we'll see how it looks. So what I'm doing now is taking photos of the waves, literally of the water. This requires steady hands to get a steady pan. Aha, you like that rhyme? Because you want nice, smooth, glassy looking water. The other thing you want, we don't have a lot of, is color in the sky, but that's the theme of the day, right? See, now we have a bit of color right here in the middle. So what I'm trying to do is zoom in. Oh, that was a nice one. So what I'm trying to do is zoom in on these waves to get that glassy effect as they come crashing over. You're going to need a steady hand to get nice smooth motion in the water. Just missed a great wave. Bummer. And I did a lot of panning and everything in race photography, but this is a little different. These waves aren't moving 200 miles an hour like a Le Mans car. So this is actually harder. All right, that's it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed joining me here in Santa Cruz. I really dig this place. I've done triathlon here. My buddy got married out here. So Santa Cruz is a lot of fun. Got to try a couple different locations. The lighthouse we were at earlier is way over there. Not sure if you can see that little green dot. Now here I'm at the pier, at the boardwalk. So tune in next week. Go ahead and hit subscribe at the end of this video. I'm going to add the button there for you guys. If you have any questions, just let me know. Any positive feedback or maybe even negative feedback, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Questions, anything like that. Haven't decided what I'm doing next week. I'm thinking maybe the redwoods. So tune in and we'll see. Thanks for watching.